Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather this morning. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for November 3rd, 2025. We do keep additional graphics at tpatw.com. Our surface map for Monday is rather simple. We have high pressure dominating almost all of the country. We do have that remnants of a cool front still hanging along the coast, but really only cutting back through Florida. And we have a new area of low pressure and some unsettled weather developing in the Pacific Northwest. There is that remnant of the passing front up here in New England. Looking at pressure change, which is one of the more significant aspects of impact on human health, we do have a significant area of weather health risk up here in the Pacific Northwest across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana, another area in the northern plains and the western Great Lakes, and a very significant area up here in New England. We have a hint of some activity in Florida, but we're really not picking up a lot with our vitality index. Looking at pressure change, and this is the single weather element that seems to have the most impact on human health, and we have falling pressure in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, actually stretching down into Wyoming, and we have significantly falling pressure up here in New England, but really taking in portions of eastern Pennsylvania and Maryland. We have rising pressure in the plains, taking in eastern Dakotas, eastern Nebraska, covering much of Minnesota and Wisconsin, and picking up the Michigan Upper Peninsula. Temperature change is not really significant at this time, especially as we have what we call zonal flow coming across the northern parts of the nation, and that what means is some moderating temperatures, but we have rising temperatures here in Missouri and significantly rising temperatures across New England. Our dew point temperature map shows a little more interesting picture where we have rising dew point temperatures in the Pacific Northwest across Missouri and rising dew point temperatures here in New England, falling dew point temperatures in the northern plains. We'll jump to vapor pressure, and it shows a little bit better picture than of the moisture situation, and we can see falling vapor pressure or dew point temperatures, but it shows up most distinctly here across Florida, South Carolina, and right along the Gulf Coast. So it's an interesting area of impact, not showing up as well on our dew point temperature maps. Looking at POI, which is our measure of the availability and change in the oxygen availability in the atmosphere, we can see that we have falling POI and a risk of asthma and arthritis in the Pacific Northwest, especially Oregon, Idaho, and western Montana. We have another area of significant arthritis and asthma risk here in Missouri, Arkansas, and southern Illinois, and a very significant area of asthma and arthritis here in the Northeast, running from Maryland across Pennsylvania into New York State and then almost all of New England. We have rising POI, or a risk of migraine, especially along the California coast, but covering much of Northern California. We then have another area of migraine risk stretching from eastern Colorado into Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota and Wisconsin, and the Michigan Upper Peninsula. And then a very interesting area of migraine risk stretching from South Carolina across Georgia, almost all of Florida, and right along the coastal areas here of the Gulf. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. Your comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, tell us where you're located.